think if you look at the listed investment space, a lot of these companies are looking for opportunities outside of Australia. So whether or not they're able to convert that into revenue is uncertain. But I think clearly the larger companies are sort of see the writing on the wall and are trying to find opportunities overseas and to extend their business models. In terms of the sort of smaller local developers, which pretty much are sort of single project entities, clearly if the projects aren't there, these guys are going to find something else to do. The renewable sector in Australia is really at the extremes. For the more developed technologies like large-scale solar or large-scale wind, they're still very much private developers, and so this would be unlisted entities and the like. At the other end of the spectrum are more what I would call early-stage technology companies, and so these typically don't have a large institutional following, and they'd probably be more of a what I'd call a retail focus. Being early-stage technology companies, they do attract a very different risk profile and a very different investor base. Clearly, renewable energy investors are avoiding this sector, but until there's policy certainty, you really can't blame them for looking elsewhere. Now, this country really doesn't have an energy policy per se, so the sort of conventional investment opportunities that are come up for sale or come up for potential investment really seem to be opportunistic and seem to be driven more by political forces, which in of themselves seem to be in constant flux as well. So I guess the short answer to it is that energy opportunities in this country will continue to be, as they have in the past, selective and opportunistic. Oh, clearly, yes. I think that's been demonstrated time and time again around the world, especially if you start looking at marrying renewable energy with, say, gas-fired power plants. The ability for us to radically change our emission profile by going down that transitory path until storage becomes more affordable clearly means that the pathway to having a low-emission high portion of renewable energy grid is entirely feasible. If I had to pick a technology winner or an area where I think has got the most promise, clearly it would be rooftop solar at this point in time. The price of solar panels has really fallen quite dramatically over the last several years. Now, granted, a large portion of that cost out was due to the price of polysilicon coming down, but at the end of the day, the cost of manufacturing, the cost of balance of plant are indeed declining. Also, the economics of rooftop solar are really against the retail price of electricity, not the wholesale price of electricity. And when you start looking at the retail price of electricity on a global basis, or even in this country, the economics to the homeowner start looking quite interesting, right? It's not to the point where it's like an LED light, where if you're a business, to buy an LED light today, your payback on that investment would be about a month, or sorry, would be about a year. So it's a very easy decision for you to make. With the sort of economics that we're seeing today with rooftop solar, that sort of payback scenario is a few years, is still a few years in the making, but a lot more attractive than what it once was.